Hi, Aaliyah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great. I'm happy you're able to make it after our first phone conversation.
Me
I'm
too.
gonna I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the process. So in this first interview, I'm pretty much going to just get some basic information about you. So you'll end up telling me about a little bit about your personal life, school, prior career experiences, some leadership opportunities, social clubs that you're a part of. And after that, we'll have you do some personality assessments, and that'll give us a better idea of what kind of job environment that we might fit you in into the future. And then after that, choosing a job that you're interested in, we will go and try to look further into that and see what the outcomes for that job typically are. Is the job growing currently, the type of education you'll need, and see if that salary fits you. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. Any thoughts on that? Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sounds good.
Okay, great. So with that said, the first thing, tell me a little about a bit about yourself. Like, how did you get here? What's going on in your life?
Okay, so currently I'm in a clinical mental health counseling program at Cal U. I majored in my undergrad in psychology and sociology. I was only going to major in psychology at first, but I saw they were offering a social deviance program in sociology, so I dual majored in that because I had this idea that I was going to be a correctional psychologist,
Okay.
like all through my undergraduate courses, and then I changed my mind. So now I kind of don't know what my next steps are going to be after I finish this program. I'm in my first semester, so I still have some time, but I'm unsure if I'm gonna, start working in the field right away, or if maybe I want to go on and get a doctorate. So yeah, I'm just not sure what to do next.
Okay, cool. So you have a background in psychology and sociology, and you had a former idea about what you wanted to do, with which was in corrections. So it seems like you're really willing to work with different types of populations, maybe even some populations that could be considered difficult. Does that sound true?
Yeah, for sure. I'm willing to, try something new.
So you think that clinical psychology or like counseling psychology, is that something that you have a specific interest in?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in counseling psychology. I was thinking about that whenever I was deciding if I was going to go for clinical mental health counseling or for counseling psychology. I ended up going with clinical mental health counseling, but I am still very interested in the counseling psychology as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's what I was gathering from you saying that you were interested in maybe getting a doctorate, because I figured in those kinds of cases it's usually a PhD or a PsyD. But the cool thing about this is we'll explore those and maybe potentially other options as well. So that's just nice that you have an idea already. So with that said, what about your school experiences? Have you had any like leadership experiences?
I have not had any leadership experiences yet.
Yeah, I was in a really similar space when I had just gotten out of undergrad as well. I didn't really have much leadership experience, but after getting into a master's degree, I was able to get into more leadership experiences. So that's probably something that we could talk about as well too, just suggestions on what to do with that.
Yeah, that would be good.
With that said, what about any social clubs? I mean, none of this stuff is like that you need to have it, but it just gives me a sense of what we could work on
Hmm.
as we go forward. What should we include with this career search that would just make your resume even stronger? So what about any social experiences?
So I was a part of the psychology club um, in my undergraduate, and I was a member of the track and field team.
Okay.
Um, I do plan on joining Chi Sigma Iota, the the counselors. So I think it's a sorority or a fraternity, honors sorority.
Okay, that's great. So yeah,
Yeah.
the psychology club, that's really big. I mean, in the future, being a part of any type of psychological field, I think that it's a really important part to be in a social circle, professional academic circle, where you have other people that you can share your ideas with and collaborate on projects. So you kind of already have a little bit of experience with that. Track and field, that's just great, because I mean, you're exercising and working on you and your well-being in general. And the Chi Sigma Iota is definitely the icing on the cake, because I think that that's something that future doctoral programs will see as an esteemed initiative that you took. So I'm really glad to hear that you have some experience under your belt. And I think that certainly mitigates some of the leadership experiences that we still need to get along the way. So tell me a little bit about your friend group. What's that look like for you nowadays?
So me and my roommates, we're pretty close. It's a very diverse friend group in terms of interests. My one roommate, she's a biology major, and then two of my other roommates, they're both digital media technology majors. So yeah, we're all into very different things, but my friends are really supportive and kind of cheer me on in anything I do. So I'm grateful for that.
That's wonderful to hear. I mean, there's definitely some people that don't even have a single person. So the fact that you have even one friend, two friends, roommates that you're saying specifically, that's great. And I know you said three. So the fact that you have a bio major, I think, is cool for your program, because there's really also underlying stuff about neurotransmitters and other biological chemistry that goes into psychology. So I think that you also have some people that you can really dialogue with us about. And the digital media technology majors, I mean, how many PowerPoints and projects do you have to do on the computer, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure those folks will be really helpful. Okay, that's great. So what about your family life? How's that going? I mean, only get into what you're comfortable sharing, but are people there as well?
I don't have a huge family, but I am very close with my mom, my stepdad, and my brother. And they're also very supportive. Um, yeah.
Okay, no, that's awesome. I mean, that's all you really need. Like I said, is just somebody there. Social bonds in general. My personal philosophy on it is that it's true medicine, because when it's not there, that's when you really feel the strain. So that's great that you have people in your life like that. What about your health? Is there any conditions that you're concerned about that you're comfortable sharing that could impede this, or I mean, hey, maybe even support it?
So far, so good.
Okay, so far so
Healthy.
good.
Hmm.
Awesome. Taking those probiotics, I see you.
Yeah.
What about prior jobs? Any type of jobs that that would be like applicable experience?
I don't have any relevant experience to the field.
Okay.
I have worked a lot of customer service and food service jobs. I'm currently working at Walmart. I've worked at pizza shops, worked at Lowe's, Big Lots, all stuff like that, working with people. So that's a plus, but none really directly in my field. So I'm kind of lacking in that.
No, I think that's great. I know sometimes there are a lot of requirements on paper that we have to meet, but certainly there are practical skills that we need to develop. And so all of those jobs that you mentioned are meaningful, especially because you're working with people. So I think that anybody that actually has a personal interview with you will be able to take that into account. So Leah, you've really told me a lot of stuff. I mean, you have um, a degree in psychology, you have experience in the psych club, you've been a part of the track and field, you have roommates that have similar interests or overlapping interests, people that can help you out. You have your family there, and nothing bad's going on with you. And you've also been able to make your way into some jobs and hold them down. So I think that I really have a lot of information there to go with, so that we can get started with the next phase, which is going to be a personality assessment. And pretty much the point of it is that when we learn more about your traits, we can match them to an environment, and hopefully that gives us a favorable outcome.
Cool. Sounds good.
So maybe I'll send you these assessments over the internet here, and you can do them, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss them.
Okay. I'm excited to see what they tell me.
Okay, great. I will see you next time.
All right. See you next time.
Okay, my computer was in the wrong spot here. I just needed to stop it. We can always cut that